So, my name is Jonathan Greenblatt. I'm the CEO of the Anti-Defamation League, or the ADL. We're the oldest anti-hate organization in the world. We've been fighting anti-Semitism, extremism, and all forms of hate for nearly 113 years. And I need to say that 2025 was really a year like no other. It was one of the deadliest years for the Jewish people globally. We had 20 Jewish people murdered in America, in the UK, right here on Bondi, simply because of their ethnicity and their faith. And we know how anti-Semitism has surged here in Australia since 2022. So I'm here today with Alex, and I'm here today with the Australian Jewish community, because we believe that an attack on the Australian Jewish community is an attack on the entire Jewish community. And solidarity matters, strength matters, and the resolve matters. And what I've seen in other places and what I've seen here is, to be honest, as sort of sad as it is and tragic as it is, to think that from 10 years old to 80-something years old, people were gunned down just where we're standing. And yet here we are today, and the Australian community is strong. So I'm here to show, again, solidarity and strength with our brothers and sisters here in Sydney and across this country. And I just need to say that, I'm glad the Royal Commission has been convened, and I credit the Australian Jewish community for pushing for accountability, and I'm glad the government responded. The whole world is watching what happens here. And Alex, I think you know this, but it's worth saying. The entire Jewish community is again taking heart from what our brothers and sisters here have been able to achieve. And now the ball is in the court of the government. And we are watching to see how they respond to ensure that accountability is met.
When this tragedy occurred, we felt the embrace of our fellow Australians, of all faiths, of all ethnicities, and it meant so much to us. Have that solidarity in our darkest moment when we needed it most. But we are one people, and we feel this sense of kinship with fellow Jews around the world. We have a common fate and a common destiny. And to have Jonathan, one of the world's foremost defenders of human rights and advocates against anti-Semitism here, it means a great deal. And I want to thank my dear David Adom for facilitating this visit. And, Jonathan comes with a message to the Australian Jewish community to be stoic and strong, because we're not alone, and a message to the Australian government. And this will be something that will be heard around the world as well. The Jewish world at the moment is doing it tough. They're facing unprecedented levels of exclusion and hatred and physical violence. And they need to know that we stand with them as one people.
It is very emotional to be here at Bondi. It is gut-wrenching to see the memorial and the faces of these people. By the way, Jews and non-Jews, young people and old people, men and women, grandparents and grandchildren, again, whose only offense was their identity. Back in the United States, as Alex alluded to, we've seen this rise of harassment and vandalism and violence directed at Jewish people. And we've had elected officials sort of minimizing it or dismissing it as if, it's not really anti-Semitic, it's just anti-Zionist, or it's just anti-Israel. Let me tell you something. This is what globalized the Intifada looks like. It's not anti-Israel. It's pro-hate, to harass Jewish people, what's happening on the other side of the world. I don't believe we would tolerate it if it was directed against any other ethnic group. And it is despicable that it happens here. And the idea that it's just rhetoric, let me tell you, it always starts with words. But words have consequences, and rhetoric can ignite real-world action. So we need to have the kind of moral, if you will, cohesion to recognize the consequences of unvarnished, ugly hate directed at a single group of people again and again and again. As many of you know, Alex's home just up the road was vandalized after October the 7th. They tried to firebomb a synagogue in Melbourne. We know that Jewish people across the country have been harassed. Like, it's not just not okay, it's deeply, profoundly, morally reprehensible. And so again, I have faith in my brothers and sisters here in the Jewish community in Australia. They will continue to press to ensure that elected officials in this country, that the Royal Commission in this country does what it needs to do, which is to make sure that Australian Jews don't get special treatment, that they get equal treatment. Because that's ultimately what it's all about. Just making sure that Jewish people in Australia, by the way, in America or anywhere else, can show up, can worship, can work, can live as freely as their compatriots of other ethnicities and faiths. That's it. That's all we would ask for here and anywhere.